In this lesson, we're going to use the law of sines to solve for missing angles of triangles. So again, we still have the same exact ratios. Still going to be talking about opposite sides and opposite angles. This time that we're solving for angles. All right, so our first one here, we're looking for those side and angle pairs. Right, so here's one and here's one. So let's go ahead and set up our ratio. This part is the exact same thing. Okay, so this is what we did on the lesson before. So we have the sine of 69 over 25 equals the sine of x over 15. Okay, I still need to get x by itself. The problem is x is really the sine of x. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to isolate. So I can still cross multiply and say 25, let's go black color there. So 25 times the sine of x equals 15 times the sine of 69. I need to get x by itself, so I'm going to divide by 25. So here's what I have. I have the sine of x is equal to 15 times the sine of 69 over 25. Okay, now if you remember when we were solving for angles, when we were doing right triangle trig, we talked about doing the inverse, working backwards to get the angle. So really what I'm trying to do here is I want the inverse sine of 15 times the sine of 69 over 25. That is what x is equal to. So in my calculator, I'm going to start by typing in second sine. Okay, so I'm going to do second sine, and I need to type in 15 sine of 69. But again, I need to close that parentheses. So you have to close your parentheses one time around 69, and then do divided by 25. And then I close my parentheses for good measure as well. And then I can press enter, and you should get about 34.1 degrees. Okay, so just to review again, you're pressing second sine, then you're typing all of this in, making sure to close your parentheses after the sine of 69. That's really the big difference between what we did solving for sides and solving for angles. It's really that last step that is different. All right, in this one here, again, we're going to start with our side and angle pairs. So I have a complete one here, and then I have this one here where I'm solving for x for my angle. So let's go ahead and set up our proportion. We have the sine of 27 over 18 equals the sine of x over 35. Go ahead and cross multiply like always. So we have 18 times the sine of x equals 35 times the sine of 27. Trying to get x by itself, so I need to divide both sides by 18. So I have the sine of x is equal to 35 times the sine of 27 over 18. So remember, since we're talking about solving for an angle, I really need the inverse sine of 35 times the sine of 27 over 18 to equal my angle measure. So in my calculator, I'm going to type in second sine, 35 times the sine of 27. Make sure you close that parentheses. Divided by 18. You should have 61.977, which would round to about 62 degrees. Again, our answer is reasonable, right? Because that side length of 35 is larger than 18, so our angle did end up being larger than the one we started with. All right, last example. Highlighting my side and angle pairs here. All right, so let's set it up. We have the sine of 55 over 27 equals the sine of x over 18. I'm going to cross multiply, and I have 27 times the sine of x equals 18 times the sine of 55. Divide by 27 to get the sine of x by itself. Write that all out there. Okay, and again, because we are solving for an angle, we're really thinking about the inverse sine of 18 times the sine of 55 over 27. Right, so in my calculator, I'm going to type second sine, 18 times the sine of 55, close my parentheses, divided by 27, and press enter. You should have about 33.1 degrees. Again, reasonableness of my answer, let's think about that. 18 is smaller than the 27, right? So it makes sense that our angle is smaller than the one we started with.